Welcome, everybody, to the U16 pod. I'm Ryan MacArthur.
And I'm Connor Williams. And on the last episode of the U16 pod, we covered the ETA, Eastern AAA League of the OMHA. Great episode there. Talked to some great players. We talked to forward Ethan Procession from the North Central Predators. We talked to defenseman Frankie Morelli from the Markham Waxers. And talked to goaltender Jacob Brown from the Greater Kingston Junior Gales. So if you haven't checked that episode yet, definitely go check that one out on our YouTube or on whatever podcast platform you listen on. Phenomenal episode. For today's episode, it's been busy week since the resumption of kind of minor hockey back, and we had some phenomenal interviews that we got planned for everyone. So we're excited to put those out here for everyone. But today's focus is going to be a mix of kind of a recap. We're going to recap some of the games we got to attend, as well as we're definitely going to be covering for this episode the Great North Midget League up north in Northern Ontario there with fun kind of U18/U16 league they got up there. So we're excited to put this one out and get a mix and get some of these northern players who oftentimes maybe don't get the same exposure or get their names out there, kind of get some names out there so people can hear some names that are to look out for in the future here. So we're going to start what we're going to do for this episode, Ryan. I think we're going to start with some of the games we attended, then we'll transition to the Great North Midget League just because of the resumption of hockey and there's been so much going on. Lots of blowout wins, lots of teams, pent up energy, really excited to get back into it. There's been some blowout wins, some tight ties, some tight wins. Lots of hockey, eh?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy actually since the resumption. Some teams have just kind of been shot out of a cannon. Like you can tell they were ready to go and ready to get back at it. I mean, like I talk about Quinty a lot, but in their first two games back, they had a total score of 24-2. You're noticing all these big scores like 9-0, 10-0, different games, and I mean, yeah, some teams were kind of ready to get going again, and some teams maybe didn't do as much as they could have during the lockdown. So it's certainly been interesting to see all those blowups, eh?
No, it is interesting, and it's about prepping honestly now with this final stretch for all a lot of these leagues. Well, getting kind of that momentum going and playing your best hockey as you prepare to make the playoffs. A lot of playoff formats have changed. I mean, I just this past week I was taking a look at the GTHL. A friend of mine messaged saying the GTHL has changed their playoff format, so I went and looked that one up. It's not necessarily anymore the 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5 kind of playoff bracket series format that they used to have. This year the G's having a sort of round robin, whoever qualifies for the playoffs, which they didn't specify, but I believe it's going to be the usual 8 and then round robin format amongst those teams, and then top 4 amongst that round robin will qualify. But like I said, it's a matter of playing your best hockey, getting that momentum as you look to get into the playoffs here and make a push. For those maybe on the outside looking in, or you're looking to push yourself into that playoff conversation. And for those in the playoffs, it's about playing your best hockey and getting that momentum. And there's been some great games recently, and I know both you and I got to attend some great ones. Honestly, I feel I want to start, and I feel it'd be best just to start with the one I got to attend Monday night, which was between the Sens and JRC. Just a phenomenal game. Really back and forth. The atmosphere, there was no space at Paramount Fine Food Center, Rink 4 there. Stairs were packed, people on the boards. Everyone knew what was at stake. GMs, coaches, there was everyone from OHL. I saw Chicago Steel Jacket was there. It was a big time game. I mean, this was the last game that these two teams are going to play in the regular season against each other, and both these teams knew the stakes, Ryan.
And I heard the Washington Capitals were there. I mean, I don't know how many pro scouts end up showing up for U16 AAA games. That's way too early identification for them, but you're right. Like there was people there, and I mean, to hear about a Washington Capitals scout, that's wild for U16.
Well, that's taken I guess early identification to a whole new level there, I guess.
Maybe Bob McKenzie was in a corner somewhere. Who knows, right?
Like, you never know. I mean, they love those minor hockey.
It was packed.
But it was the atmosphere, the intensity of the game. Both teams knew. The Sens knew they needed. For the Sens, they knew they needed that win, given that they've lost all 3 games previously to the JRC, and the JRC just wanted to continue that dominance that they've kind of shown this season. And quite frankly, JRC had a lot of chances. I'd say the JRC actually had more chances in terms of on the Sens goaltender. And I'll give Cabo Lung came up big. Tough start. JRC scored an early goal from Jack Van Volsen. But Cabo Lung kind of got in a groove, and he made some big saves down the stretch. Made a big kind of side save, stretching out, getting the glove out there to make a big save, and kind of, I guess at the time, protect the lead. And he came up with some big time saves, but I found JRC kind of couldn't quite capitalize on some of their chances. Well, the Sens, when they did get their chances, they were able to find the net a bit, but it was a back and forth game and tight. I mean, it said 5-3, and that fifth goal was an empty netter by Bodie Stewart there. Um, Phenomenal game. I will say Malcolm Spence was relentless on the puck in that game. He tied the game for the
Yeah.
Sens with a beautiful rush, kind of created some deception on a shot that created honestly what could have been a save, ended up being what might have looked like being a kind of easier save or could have been a save. It was
Yeah.
actually tougher based on the deception he provided with that shot, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. And that shot, I mean, we've talked about Malcolm Spence and his shot release right at the top of this draft in terms of that pure shot release. Like he kind of did one of the goals, like he was skating in and he kind of did it like sort of away from his body. Like he was his feet were going straight, but then he flicked it to the left and it went right in the top corner. It was like, and it went with some good velocity and right in that top corner. Like that's high end stuff. That was a big time goal, and big time goal for his team. He had a big game for his team because they needed that win. Like let's face it, if they were down 4-0 against GRC, I mean that's it put them to number 1 on the OHL rankings, right? For
Yeah,
the
it absolutely did. And Malcolm Spence was relentless in the whole game. He was just a dog on a
yeah,
bone with that puck, getting after it any chance he could, and he was playing like, I mean, every after the whistle, he was making sure they knew that he was there to play and he was there to dominate,
nice.
and he showed off. And I will say, defenseman Justin Hyun had probably one of the best games out of everyone there. The instincts he showed, his kind of the way he jumped up in the play, he was making great passes, his mobility, his rotations, kind of finding open space, moving into that soft spots to get the puck as well as distribute it. He had a great game, in my opinion. Um, I will say as well, Bodie Stewart came up big, penalty kill, big time penalty killer for the Sens. I say for whatever team looking for a strong penalty killer, strong positioning, high IQ player, Bodie Stewart's got to be a strong player. And I mean, Riley Patterson had the game-winning goal for the Sens off a beautiful pass by William Moore, who I will say I think William Moore overcame a lot of adversity in that game with the physicality that was provided. And he took some big hits in that game. I mean, the refs were kind of inconsistent. They were calling some that probably shouldn't have been called. They were calling some that that could have been. They weren't calling some that could have been, but the refs were. I mean, the refs have a tough job, so I'll leave that there. But I think he overcame some adversity with the way he was taking hits. He was trying to fight through pressure. He came big with just over 2 minutes left and made a beautiful kind of curling behind the net. You know, that back pass where he's trying to send the goalie while he's going, he sent it back the other
Yeah,
way. Patterson
no
put in that
look.
net. And it was a big time play for them. It came up huge and it was kind of clutch play by the two of them. And it was massive. And Michael Misa 07 came up massive as well. I mean, they were down, I believe it was actually 2-2. I think 3-2 2-2, sorry, 2-2. Beautiful. They were on the penalty kill, I believe. Picks it up in the slot, just shows off these like nimble feet, little dances around the D, and just backhand kind of 5-hole on the goalie there. And he had a great game as well. He was establishing physically. That Martone, I will say, JRC, Martone, Van Volsen, and Tersini line, phenomenal again. I mean, they're just showing why they are one of the hardest, toughest lines, best lines in U16 AAA. I mean, Tersini was doing his thing. He was strong on the forecheck. He was strong defensively. He was creating offensively as well. Got to find open space, feeding his teammates. Van Volsen and Martone, physically dominant. Martone potted at the second goal of the game, showing off his goal scoring ability, showing off that shot that he has. But both were just, they're taking hits to make plays, and the entire line was phenomenal as well. Anthony Cristoforo was looking solid in that game as well. Jacob Battaglia using his big body, really being that power forward player to drive the net, drive wide and cut middle, just establish a presence physically as well. Phenomenal game overall there as well. I will say as well, Jonas Siskander actually had a really solid game as well. Really reliable defensively, hard worker, was competing hard. He also stood out there in that aspect. But the entire game, just massive. You could tell everyone knew the stakes. You could tell everyone. You could feel it. I got there probably like 20 minutes before the game, and you could feel it in the rink. You could feel it as they got on the ice. The energy. JRC came out with the energy they were with. Sens came out, matched that energy, and the intensity was through the roof. And it's going to be incredible. And 2 weeks, there'll probably be another great game between Marlies and JRC. As the Marlies are the only team to actually beat both the Sens and JRC this year. But that Sens JRC game was just phenomenal, Ryan. So I'll finish off on that, and I'll let you get into some of your games before I jump into some other games I went to.
Yeah, no, since like kind of like in some of the games like that Van Volsen, Tersini, and Martone line, like they're just unbelievable. I've had some chances to see them recently, and they're they're really like the driving force for that team. I mean, Michael Hage has also been really good, but that line, like, I mean, they're just like basically unstoppable right now. And you mentioned Bodie Stewart, like in some recent looks, he's been unbelievable as well. So yeah, my first league game back was Hamilton and Oakville. Really good game. We actually just put out our SCTA episode, and I didn't mention. I don't think we mentioned anybody from Oakville, but in this game, I really wanted to mention a player that really stood out for me, Jack Goddard. He's a center, wears number 19. He had a really good game for Oakville. Like he got at least one goal. I think he got a couple goals. He was finishing, like the one goal was gorgeous. That 200-foot center, really good skater, really good with the puck, possessed the puck a lot. Really did a great job for Oakville. So I really wanted to get Goddard out there. Too bad we didn't get him in there for the SCTA episode, but giving him a shout out here. He's a player, like he's a guy to look out for. And on the Hamilton Junior Bulldogs side, a player that's starting to really stand out for me is Jake Peters. He's a really good player. He's really high end finisher, really quick, great puck skills, tough player too, right? Like physical, gets after it, and wins a ton of puck battles, and just like flat out gets the pucks first over other guys in those 50-50 pucks. And you look and you're like, oh, who's gonna get it? Could be either guy, and then he's seems like he kind of gets those with ease and quick lift of a stick and just gone with it kind of thing. So Jake Peters is one that's really standing out. Clark Dunford is good. Like he got a goal, at least a goal in that game. Really good player. Powerful, kind of like that sturdy, kind of really good puck skills and a hard shot. He's been doing pretty good. And Dean Della Georgis, like he's just like a thief. Like when guys have the puck in their own zone, like they might think that they have time or whatever, look over their shoulder, but then he kind of sneaks in there and like steals the puck, goes in, dekes a goalie, just like, oh yeah, it's like no bit, like they were kind of up in the game, so he didn't really celebrate. But I mean, he just kind of like the way he did it, he just kind of expects to do that stuff, and it's really high end stuff. So really fun to watch. And another guy, Matthew Campanella, like he was after it, just like hitting guys, like always getting it, like his nose in the play. Like really smart with the puck too, like made really nice passes and controlled play and really good on the forecheck as well. So yeah, just really enjoyed that game between Hamilton and Oakville there. Yeah.
No, great to hear, and I'll follow suit with you there. Saturday, I got to watch Southern Tier and Guelph from the SCTA there, and I will say the one player that I think stood out for me the most was from Southern Tier, who I think had a great game, Luke Bredner. He wears number 9 forward for them. Shorter player, kind of smaller guy, but was really using his quick feet, really mobile, speed, quickness for his game, and he was shifty, put himself in the soft air, moving into open space, and it showed when he was able to in the production he was able to produce in that game, and he got the results in that game by finding that open space behind the net, finding that little soft area, and he was able to take passes and get that. One of the top defensemen I think in the draft comes from Southern Tier, Callum Chanowski. Really player who plays with aggressiveness. He's got a strong stick, and just finds ways to jump up and make strong reads at the right times and really break up kind of offensive rushes by the opposition. Those two kind of really stood out for me in that game. I will say I'm going to get into the next game that I got to see, which I was really excited to watch from the Alliance, was the London Junior Knights versus the Kitchener Junior Rangers there. And as we talked about the blowups earlier, Ryan, this wasn't a phenomenally close game, but I will say we talked about I mentioned Michael Meese earlier. Well, another 07 who's been phenomenal this year, Ryan Rubrick, produced a hat trick, and he showed off why he's probably got the best shot of next year's draft class. Maybe even one of the best shots in this year's draft class in there. And it's incredible the way he's got it. It's a quick release. It's an effortless release. He finds ways to he's calm on the ice. He's got the size that you like. But other than Rubik in terms of 07, Jet Luchenko, he was doing his thing. He had a beautiful shot off, some beautiful finish. He had multiple breakaways in the game, scored on one of them. Beautiful shot off the finesse with a beautiful dangle on it. But his game was the speed, the poise he was playing with, the calmness. He not throwing the puck away when he was under pressure, finding ways to kind of use his hands to sift the puck through and manipulate the puck to maintain possession. Use his speed, his skating to both accelerate and separate and create space, but also kind of use his edges to kind of slow up, little stop turn, and kind of open up some more space to the side. And his passing was really well in that game. He was finding lanes, finding his teammates to create more time and give them a chance to shoot the puck and find lanes there. Talon Palmer, I think Palmer had a great game for London. Smaller player who was really shifty. He was playing a really physical game. Like, it got really physical. It seemed like a lot of teams right now were just bringing the physicality. Like, they felt like I hadn't body checked someone in months, so I got to just lay the body.
Yeah.
He was strong on his feet. He was laying the body, putting himself in good spots, strong center. Quick shot, wasn't able to get some of the shots through, but quick shot from him. But his game got that speed, that shiftiness, that elusiveness from him there. Brody McConnell Barker as well, former guest on the pod, friend of the pod.
Of course, right?
He was aggressive offensively in that game as well, and
good.
just a phenomenal. London just dominant that game overall as well. Harrison Franson as well. He had a great game, really reliable two-way game from him. Strong defensively as well as he was producing and setting up his teammates offensively as well, finding the space with that respect as well. Matt Soulier also had a strong game. He was physical down low. Gavin McGahey-Smith, he was just, you could see the power, the speed he plays with, the straight line speed that he has and the power that he generates. He's able to really get after, cause pressure, and he does not, I don't think there was a single time where a guy had the puck and he was on them. He did not. Finishing his checks, exactly, just that. He was finishing his checks, and it was painful watching him hit people. I think and he doesn't get knocked over either. Like, he's a strong person. Like, he's a strong man. And I think he only got knocked down once, and I was standing next to, I think, Rain, and he was like, oh, that's rare. You don't see Gavin get knocked down much, and McGahey-Smith was everywhere. He was creating chances with the body, forcing pucks loose, and he had a great game as well. But just overall, a dominant performance by London there over Kitchener. So, yep.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, I wanted to just mention one more guy. So in the Hamilton Oakville game, Braden Russell, I mean, we've mentioned him on the pod before. I forgot about him for this one, but like, yeah, just really, really fast, right? Like, that speed is huge, and I think there's something there, like with just his skating ability overall. And if he can put some other stuff together, I think he could be a real big time player at the next level.
Lots of raw talent there, I think.
Yeah, it's a little raw, like in the skating, but the skating, right? Like it kind of blows you away at times. But I mean, Hamilton's got decent goalies as well. Like, you got to mention that. Like, every time I see them, they get good goaltending. So, yeah, I got to mention kind of the goalies. Who we got here for goalies? Like, Gabriel Longo and Julian Salvati. They're both solid. Like, every time I see them. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of a little recap of some games we got to attend. Looking forward to getting out to more games with all the games. Kind of a lot of games packed in actually because of the shutdown. But we're excited for the little playoffs. SCTA playoffs gonna be starting soon. Last regular season games on Sunday, and ETA and GTHL will be following suit, as well as the Alliance. So, excited to see more games and all that. But we'll get into kind of the focus of this episode. Actually, the greater focus, the Great North Midget League. We'll get into kind of up there, and the northern teams up there. We have 3 phenomenal interviews, like I mentioned at the start of the episode. We'll get into those in a bit. We had Nolan Newton, Tyson Rismond on from the Sudbury U16 team, and Charlie Burns from the Sioux Junior Greyhounds U18 team as well. So we're excited to play those interviews earlier, but we'll get into some players from up north there. And I know you've got to see one team from up north in the Great North Midget League. We will say as well, before I get into these, I know I'm a bit all over the place here, but The Great North Major League is unique, kind of similar to the HEO. In some sense, they do have U18 teams as well as there's I think two U16 teams, North Bay and Sudbury, who are U16. So there's a blend of U16, U18, kind of 06, 05, 04 born players, similar to that of the HEO. So there's this interesting blend. So we are going to try to kind of focus on the U16 players, the 06s, but we did want to shout out a former friend, former guest of the pod, actually former guest, friend of the pod, Lincoln Moore, who is
Yeah.
having a really great season in the Great North Midget League there. He's looking at the scoring standings. He's having a great season, 21 points, leading the league in scoring. Tied for
Yeah.
the league lead in scoring there. So great season by him, but I just wanted to put that out there that this league is unique based on the fact that there are 3 age kind of
Yeah.
birth years involved there, Ryan. So I'll let you kind of
And
get going here. And we'll start off
and
with North Bay in a second.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and yeah, it is very unique. Yeah, I mean, some people kind of debate whether whether it's set up like the way it should be or whatever, but it is what it is, right? There's a lot of debate in the north over the setup there, but we're not going to get into all that. I just wanted to say about Lincoln Moore. I saw him at the Waterloo Gold Puck tournament, and yeah, he looked really good. Like he was, I mean, really fast. He's really strong. He's got the tools. Like he really does. Like I think for the U18 draft, it's going to be interesting to see kind of where he goes. So I just wanted to mention that because we've had him on the pod before, and he did go undrafted. So yeah, like I think like I mean he's at it, like playing U18, working hard, right? Like we had a couple guys on the pod that went undrafted, and it's just good to see him. Like I mean he's still like kind of grinding and doing his thing and tied for first in the league scoring. So like yeah, shout out to him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've seen his success, and we'll get into the first team here. We're not going to follow the usual kind of format. I think we'll just follow along what we got some players we got listed here, and we got some teams that we've maybe seen more because as a lot of people know, we are located more in the GTA. Gosh darn it, GTA in Southern Ontario here. So we can't necessarily get up to the north as much as we'd like or see games live. But there's catch a couple games on Hockey TV when we're able to. But we don't want to kind of try to talk about stuff we don't necessarily have any knowledge about. So we know a few players that got some knowledge, got some sources up north who have some players that are standout. So we'll get into the first team who you actually got to see. You've seen a lot more than I have for that matter. The North Bay Trappers U16 squad, Ryan. I'll let you get into them.
Yeah, the North Bay Trappers. I mean, they're a good team. They they won a tournament this year in Kitchener in the blue line, so they're really strong. For them, it starts in net. I mean, we had Caleb Papineau on the podcast. He was basically the driving force for them winning that Kitchener blue line tournament, and big strong goalie. Probably going to be like for that team. There's going to be a team NOHA at the OHL Cup. I would be surprised if he wasn't like the kind of go-to guy for them. There's him and also Charlie Burns, but yeah, like that's going to be an interesting situation for the OHL Cup. But with North Bay, Papineau's really good in net, and we talked a lot about him in that past episode. So if you want to check that out, go back to that episode and get more analysis there, I guess. And Michael Perkhart's also a really good goalie, another big goalie. They got two really good goalies in North Bay, so their team kind of starts with them. On D, Zach Major. I mean, he's big. He's a beast. He's been kind of a driving force for them, and like really tough player, and like really contributes also offensively. He got a big goal. I think he got. Did he get the winner at the Kitchener Blue Line tournament or?
Zach Major did. Yep.
Yeah, so he jumped in the rush there and finished off a nice play there. So he's a really good player. And then with this North Bay, who else we got here? A player I love, I've mentioned on the pod many times before, Mason Ray. Really fast, really quick, excellent scorer. Jesse Lefebvre, he's a smaller forward that does well and contributes a lot offensively, but he's a spark plug, and like despite being sort of diminutive, he gets at least a couple big hits a game. Like he'll lay out guys twice his size. He's just got that balance, and I think with him, it's like when you see guys that can do that, it's the core strength, right? Really, really good core strength. And you see it in various parts of his game. He's got a good shot. He's got good explosiveness. So he must work really, really hard on that core. And it's serving him well. Like, even though he's smaller, he's really solid. Nate Gravel is really highly skilled. Whole bunch of good players on this team. I mean, but yeah, those are pretty much, we've mentioned North Bay a lot because we did have like an episode where we talked about them a lot, but just in terms of like for this episode, I think that's about where we'll go for players, unless you have some to add.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with North Bay in that regard. And there's a lot of players in terms of 06s who deserve some attention. And obviously, we're going to talk about Nolan, Tyson, Rismond coming up. They've had so successful, like tremendous seasons this season with Sudbury U16 Nickel Capital team. I mean, also on their team, there's also been other players who we want to mention. Talking to my colleague up north, Caden DeBril from that team, Sam Levesque, Alexander Duguay, apologies for pronouncing that incorrectly, and Tyler Thompson have phenomenal seasons as well for Sudbury, the Sudbury U16 team. Wanted to get their names out there. Ryan Armitage from the Timmins Majors. I know there's 3 teams kind of in the Great North Midget League who haven't kind of had the seasons they probably expected or wanted to have necessarily. But Timmins Majors, Ryan Armitage has had a really strong season for them. One of the 06s on that squad. And then Damian Lemoyne as well from Kapuskasing, I think as well has been a strong presence for them on the team that also, similar to Timmins, hasn't probably had the success they've looked for, but have competed in a lot of games this year as well. And then the Sioux Junior Greyhounds, a couple of D as well. Evan Roach and Gage Evans. I think there's a couple players we could see on the Team NOHA potentially for the OHL Cup there that they're putting together. I know they just announced the coaching staff and the trainers for that team. A lot of these players were mentioned: Ryan Armitage, Caden DeBril, Sam Levesque, Alexander Duguay, Tyler Thompson, Damien Lemoyne again, Evan Roach, Gage Evans are players I think we should see. We have a good chance, or they should be on that Team NOHA roster, get some more exposure. We'll see them down here in Toronto live for the OHL Cup there, which will be great for them and great to see from our perspective as well. As obviously the OHL Cup's one of the biggest events of the year. And another player, Julian Trudell from the newly scored Cubs, obviously another team hasn't had the season they probably wanted to, but Julian Trudell has had a really effective season for his team up north in the Great North Midget League, Ryan. So a lot of players there who we should, including North Bay there, probably would love to see, expect to, and would love to see on the Team NOHA for the OHL Cup, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, you covered it pretty well. I mean, you said Lemoyne and Trudell, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, Tyler Thompson on Sudbury is another one that's solid as well. And yeah, there's like Sudbury is interesting. They've got quite the 07 group. I don't think we really have time to get into that, but there's quite a contingent coming up from the north for 07s as well, and then they've been kind of making some big noise in these tournaments. But we'll focus on them next year, right?
No, absolutely. It's next year, the 07 draft, the 2023 02 draft should be a fun one. So, but we'll save that top. We'll probably save that topic for another day because
yeah,
we get started on that. We may
we
not
could go on and on.
We may not stop. So, definitely looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, when they announce the Team NOHA, I'm not quite sure when they announce it. I think it'll probably be after the Great North Midget League playoffs occur. Maybe they'll have a tentative roster announced, or whenever it may be. It might be after the Great North Midget League playoffs. Because similar to HEO, it is unique in the fact that the U18. If you're an 06 on a U18 team, these OHL these Great North Midget League, you're eligible to. You have the U18. There's the OHFs, like the U18 AAA OHFs, which as we know in past years has gone on. You know, they have the centralized OHF, and then the winner of the OHF goes on to compete for the national kind of U18 AAA championship, which we've seen the Toronto Nats win several times in the past years. In that regard, so that's what's going to be unique about that. That might throw a wrench in the Team NOHA OHL Cup thing as well, Ryan.
Well, yeah, like so whatever team U18 team makes the OHFs or whatever, their players automatically can't be in the OHL Cup, and that setup has to change. That's like, I don't know, like I don't see how that can be even possible. The OHL Cup is such a huge showcase for OHL draft eligibles, and I think that they've got to figure that out. I mean, with scheduling and stuff, I know it can be tough, but I'm going to be pretty critical on that. Like they really got to figure that out. Like you can't have guys that can't go because their team won the championship. That's just kind of, to me, that's just, I don't know. I don't think it's acceptable, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it ends up being a tough choice as a player. Well, I guess it's not much of a choice when they force you to when you're too tough on a team that has to go somewhere. It's a
Yeah.
tough thing to say, oh, I'd love to go to the OHL Cup, prime time tournament.
Yeah.
All these scouts, all these fans
Right.
as well. Can't watch me, but the OHF is happening at the same. I mean, it is a great opportunity, regardless of the way you look at it.
Yeah.
But it is a tough place to put a player in who might love to go to the OHL Cup and experience that atmosphere and all that. So definitely looking forward though to seeing what Team NOHA what players end up on Team NOHA, Northern Ontario Hockey Association. Just so for anyone unfamiliar, as I keep saying NOHA. But NOHA, but looking forward to seeing that team and seeing them come down as it'll be fun for a lot of people who don't get to see the Northern players as they get some more exposure and all that. And as everyone also knows, they probably might have noticed, the Northern team we haven't necessarily said is the Thunder Bay Kings. Thunder Bay Kings, GTHL episode. Were a part of that, and they were part of they've been playing G games. They got a big weekend coming up in the G as well, I believe. Friday night they got a game against the Vaughan Kings, so excited for that and excited to see them there. But just want to throw that in there. And I think Ryan, as we covered the Great North Midget League here, what do you say we get into our interviews here?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, the other thing is, I mean, I don't have as much info on the Northwestern area, which is that's always a tough, we don't get up there to watch games and whatever, but yeah, hopefully there's some good players up there, and we just kind of throw up the towel and just say, hey, we're not sure, right? So hopefully just for the players that are up in the northwestern part of Ontario, there's always gems up there that get missed. Hopefully there are a couple prospects come from out of there as well. But yeah, let's jump into our interviews. So we had a little bit of a different one this time. This is the second time that we've had two players on at once. The first time we had Cal Ritchie and Nick Lardis, which was a lot of fun. That's a throwback. So if you want to see that interview with those top OHLers, check that one out. That's not on YouTube. You have to go on Apple or Spotify back and look a ways back. I think it was our third or fourth episode, but make sure you check that one out. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun. We had Tyson Rismond and Nolan Newton from the Sudbury team. So let's jump right into the interview with Tyson and Nolan.
All right. We are now joined on the U16 pod by star forward Nolan Newton and star defenseman Tyson Rismond from the Sudbury Nickel Capitals. Guys, how's it going? Thanks for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. I'm doing good. You?
Not too bad. We're pumped to have you guys on. You guys are one of the top players in the U16 group in the 2022 OHL draft here. I mean, it's been a long time since anyone's been on the ice in U16 hockey and just in Ontario in general, playing on the ice there. First off, after such a long break, how does it feel to finally be able to get back on the ice and play some games here and play some practices?
It's pretty good. We had a little bit of a slow start there, but it's good. It's good.
That's good to hear. It's probably with the break. How did you guys find I'll go to you here, Nolan. How did you guys find getting on the ice or maybe get some training in where you weren't able to necessarily play any practices or stuff like that?
Just working out, doing stuff in the garage and stuff. Going to the ODRs a lot helped.
Yeah, the ODR. How's the ODR game with all the boys?
I think I dominated that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It's a little bit chippy, but
yeah, I got tossed over the boards a few times, but
love to see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a northern thing, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta play like that.
Yeah.
Play
to win.
Oh, that's awesome. Now we'll get into the Great North Midget League and your games here for a bit. Now with the Great North Midget League, what makes it so unique is there's a blend of teams who are U16 specific teams as well as some U18 teams as well, where you have that blend of you guys are actually playing against players who are even 1 to 2 years older than yourselves. I mean, I'll start with you here, Tyson. What are some challenges you found starting to play against those players who are older, and how have you overcome those challenges?
So I think the biggest challenge is like the guys are a lot bigger. Like it's like physically
Yeah,
of course they're like 2 years ahead of us, right? So I think that's the biggest difference. And then also like a bit of speed, right? And
yeah.
so like it's for the whole team. Like we're not the biggest team, right? Like we have some big players, but not the whole team is very big. So sometimes we like struggle in the physical like way.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely an aspect where I think it'll help you guys as well, which is what I'm going to get into in our next question, which I think you guys have adapted so well to, I think, where further to that point, you guys have both been able to appear in a game in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League with the Greater Sudbury Cubs there. I mean, Nolan, can you talk to us about what that experience was like for you guys?
Oh, honestly, it was awesome. Like way bigger guys, more skilled, way bigger and faster. It
Yeah.
was it was nice.
Yeah, I think that we've talked to other guys who've played, I mean, OJHL, GoJHL, all these different leagues, and seeing how they talk about it'll definitely, I think, help you guys as you translate to the next level and look to advance. Just to have that experience early on of seeing the pace and seeing the speed that they play with, it'll just make the transition, I think, so much easier. And I think Ryan will agree with me on that one.
Oh yeah, like for you, Nolan, like your speed is such a weapon for you. So when you play up, like you can fit in like speed wise and all that stuff. And at your age group, like it really stands out. Like you're a lot faster than everyone else on pretty much everyone else on the ice. And it gives you an edge. Like when you turn the Jets on the offensive zone and combining that with like your great skating skills, like your edges and turns, quick changes, direction, all that, like you generate a great deal of scoring chances each game. Like every time I see you constantly like getting chances. And so like how do you like combine those things to create so much offense?
Honestly, I'm more of a creative player, so I like trying things on defenseman. I'm not too
Okay,
scared to make like mistakes,
right.
so it kind of helps me when I have confidence like that when I have the puck.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like I mean, yeah, you make like awesome dangles, and I mean if you go for it a lot, like I mean like you get in alone like all the time, so it's like it works for you, like the way you kind of do all that. And in addition to that speed and skill, you have a great shot. Like I really noticed like you get it off in stride, like really like kind of clean right in stride at full speed. um, are those like aspects of like your shot, like have you had to work hard to develop those? Like can you talk to us about like how you got to be so good with that shot?
Uh, I obviously need to use it more, but this summer I've got like specific just to work on my shot,
Right.
like just a full hour working on my shot, and just working on my shot at camp and like in a garage and stuff has really helped it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Like an hour just on the shot. That's crazy. That's good stuff. And then I mean, let's get into your game, Tyson. Like when I think of you, you're so explosive, right? Like you display great bursts of power when you skate. How do you like to use your skating to your advantage in different situations on the ice, explosiveness and all
Um, I'd say like, well, with explosiveness, like let's say when I'm going back to get the puck and I have a forechecker on me, like being able to like make a quick move and then like beat that forechecker and make a pass up like or skate up with the play. So I think that's how I like to use my speed and like my explosiveness.
yeah, you jump into the play, you activate the offense, and
Right.
like another thing that it does with your explosiveness is you just explode into players, and you're really physical.
Yeah.
Like that's a big part of your game, eh?
Right.
Being physical and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like, has that come natural to you, or like, do you do work to kind of develop and work on that stuff?
Well, like I work out a lot, right? Um, with Nutsi and stuff, right? And I think that's like a big part of me being able to like throw big hits and stuff like that. Working
Right.
on my strength like at least 3 times a week, right? And but yeah, I think it came with hard work.
Yeah, like you got like clearly you got the natural athleticism, but like you definitely work on it because you're probably like in the north, like you're probably the most pure, like pure explosiveness is probably the best in the whole north, like out of any player I've seen. And like you play with power, and then like your physicality is really important to you. Like how important is it to you? I kind of already asked this, but how important is it to you to dictate the game physically through like whether it's a big open ice hit or like just being like tough down low below the dots, um like how do you like to like kind of like you take pride in that obviously, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think like I take pride in it because whenever I make big hits or like be physical, it gets the boys going so that they start doing that as well, right? And then it just kind of like raises the energy for like the whole game. And so then we just play a lot better whenever we get big hits like that, you know?
Yeah, no, it's like a momentum changer.
Right.
Like I saw you guys in Waterloo and you were down in a game and you had this huge hit and like all the boys were jacked up and I think you ended up tying the game. I can't remember exactly who it was against, but it definitely like changes the attitude on the bench and all that. So that's awesome stuff. So for both you guys, who like in the show in the NHL, who do you model your game after?
I try to model my game after Matt Barzell.
Okay, nice.
He uses his speed a lot and he generates lots of scoring chances.
And Tyson, who do you model?
I like to model my game after Victor Hedman.
Nice. Yeah, those are good ones. Like Barzal's super fast, and like when he's on the ice, there's literally like no one as fast as him, or barely anyone as fast as him. So that makes sense for you, Nolan. And Hedman's just a beast out there, like you, Tyson. So I like those comparables, eh, Connor?
Oh, I love both of those guys. It's a shame Barzell was in the fastest skater competition last night at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
All-Star Skills competition there. And then Hedman obviously took the hardest shot. I think he had 103.9 was his hardest shot. So that was unreal players to pick there. But we'll kind of move away from hockey for a bit here and kind of get to know you guys a bit. Are there any player for both of you guys? If you weren't playing hockey, what would be your go-to sports? I'll get Tyson to answer first here, and then we'll go to Nolan.
I think that my go-to sport would be like basketball because I've played basketball since I was like a young age, right? Playing with my sister. She plays for like the V's, whatever. And just I don't know, just from going like playing 21 with my parents in front of the house in the basketball, like the basketball net, whatever. But so
how's the free throw game look? How's the
it's
stroke
questionable.
look? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's probably better than mine. My grade 10 phys ed teacher failed me on the free throw unit, so I'm definitely behind there. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome
you gotta
to hear.
stop admitting that, Connor.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
all right,
it's not something to be proud of. I was born with abnormally like small hands, so it's not exactly something to be proud of. So, yeah. Noah, what about you? What would be your go-to sport if you weren't playing
This
hockey?
might be a weird one, but like badminton.
Hey,
Oh, nice. I like
nice.
that.
It's my secret talent.
Dominating the badminton unit in
In school.
phys ed
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you on the
Oh, yeah.
high school team?
No, we don't have one.
Oh, okay.
Gosh,
They had it at my school growing up, so I thought that'd be cool.
gosh, you would
Played
have
in
been
elementary though.
yeah.
Yeah.
You would have been money in my high school badminton team. Holy jeez, that'd have been sick. Now I do have to ask this because we're so on this topic of sports outside of hockey here. You guys pay attention to football at all in the NFL at all? In the Super Bowl coming up?
Here and there. Like my dad's a big football guy, but I don't really follow it that much.
So if I had to make a pick, would you guys be able to pick who you think might win the Super Bowl between LA and Cincinnati there?
I think LA has it.
No, what about you?
I don't watch football.
Ooh, okay. We got
Go to St. Matthews Riz.
all right. Okay. And then going away from sports now. So I don't know how much video games you guys maybe play or whatnot, but what would be you guys go-to video game console? You guys PlayStation or Xbox type of guys?
PlayStation.
PlayStation, yeah. What's the go-to game?
Chill.
Okay, who's the best on the team there?
Dude, it's not me.
Oh yeah.
I'll get on here and there, but I get.
Undisputed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. That's
Nice.
awesome. And then, what would be your guys' biggest pet peeve? We'll start with you, Nolan.
Phew. When the defense rims it off the boards.
Oh, you got a response? You got any response to that, Tyson? Oh my god.
I think I can tell. I think I know what he's gonna say.
More when like you make a good pass and like it doesn't like the forward can't catch it. You know what I mean? Like you come around the net, make a nice pass, and then it just doesn't.
They
Like
fumbled
it's
the
on the
bag.
tape and just bounces off or something like that. You know?
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the worst ones I think as well. I used to play defense, and that's one of you make a beautiful pass and just like skips over the stick or they can't handle it. So that's always a rough one. And then last one here for you guys, a little fun one here. Between the two of you, who's winning in a 1v1 here?
B.
Ooh.
I think I got you locked on defense.
I don't know about that. I'm
What-
a
what-
deep defender.
No, no, I don't
Oh,
know.
That'd be a
I
tough
think
one,
it'd
eh?
be close, but Newt would probably have that, honestly.
Oh, I like that. Probably look to lay a big hit on him, eh?
What's that?
Probably look to lay a big hit on him, see if you can lay the body
Oh
on him.
yeah.
Awesome.
You probably got the I think Tyson might have the physical advantage, but Nolan might have the speed going.
Yeah.
Might look to bring you wide probably.
He
Yeah.
definitely has the hitting advantage on me. Like with Matt.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, we saw the silver stick. There's a game, it went to like 8 overtimes, and it ended up being 2v2. And you guys would have been a deadly combo 2v,
Oh,
like against any two players in U16 hockey. Like, you think you could take on pretty much anybody together?
Yeah, I
That's
think
yeah, I
so.
think so.
yeah. You guys would have a good shot to win that for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got
That's-
some good chem.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time and just thanks so much for coming on the pod and just best of luck with the rest of the season up there in the Great North Midget League and best of luck at the OHL draft, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thanks.
having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
And we're back from an interview with Nolan Newton and Tyson Rismond, forward and defenseman respectively from the Sudbury U16 Nickel Capitals. Honestly, it was the first time doing an interview with two players at the same time kind of this season, and it was a lot of fun for us, especially. I think they had a great time doing it as well, talking to them, and it was so much fun for us just seeing the kind of camaraderie they have and kind of the brotherhood they have there and kind of the chemistry that's together. I love when we talked about, when I asked the question, who would win in a 1v1 between the two of you guys on the ice there. And, Tyson kind of suddenly was like, okay, fine, you can have it. And, little fist bump. And you just love to see that chemistry there. And, they love playing with each other. They love being around each other. And it's awesome. And it shows on the ice with the success they've had on their team and the way they've been able to produce this season. I mean, Nolan Newton's had a phenomenal season, both on the ice in terms of his play, and he's got the result from it. Tyson Rismond's been phenomenal. I mean, obviously, people have noticed, colleagues at North have noticed. I got a message from someone saying, Tyson Rismond, Nolan Newton, these guys are phenomenal for Sudbury. Definitely should have these guys on the pod. And I mean, look, here we are now. So it's phenomenal to see these guys. And I know you get to see both these guys live. And you were one of the first people telling me about, especially Tyson Rismond. I will say you were really high on him and Nolan Newton as well. After you saw them, especially.
Yeah, well, they're really good players, right? Like I was recruiting on Sudbury for 07s, and so like obviously wanted to watch the 06s as well. And so I was at the first game I saw them was at the Silver Stick, and Rismond was just blowing guys up, like just big hits here or there. And I was eating a piece of pizza in the lobby, and his dad asked me, "Oh, are you the U16 guy?" So shout out and hi to Reg Rismond, great guy, friend of the pod. We always like when people like reach out to us and talk to us at the rink, so that was awesome. But because Tyson, and I said to him, I'm like, Tyson's awesome. I'm gonna have to get him on the podcast because he's so powerful. The big thing about him is like, I mean, he's explosive. His skating is really good. He's got a really nice natural skating stride, and really, really powerful kid. Like you could tell he's probably like in it for athleticism. He's probably a beast in the gym, like really good core strength, really good upper body strength, good lower body, like because that power and that burst and explosiveness is huge. He just like he can cover short distance from a standstill in no time. And when he hits guys, he goes right through them. And it does not look like it's fun. Like, I mean, he's a beast. Like he's throwing huge hits, constantly open ice in the corner, wherever. I mean, even he's a defenseman. Like he's even getting big hits on the forecheck. And then like that explosiveness, he gets back to his position. He doesn't just kind of stay there and like lollygag around the offensive zone. Like he's a defenseman first, takes care of his own zone, really, really tough below the dots and really good player. And Nolan Newton, yeah, no, sorry, I'll let you jump in on Rismond before I start
No,
going on
honestly,
Newton.
you said it perfectly in terms of the physicality and the way he plays, the power he plays with, and it's aggressiveness that you love to see, and it instills some fear in the opposition there, and forces them to make a play with the puck, or you just turn it over. You just make them turn the puck over because you're just going to force it off of them. And as well, we will say as well, I don't think we mentioned it while we were talking to him, but he's got a great shot as well. He's really
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
really able to find the lanes, really get the
Yeah.
shot on net, and really have a
Yeah.
strong shot as well with that aspect. Which
Oh
for me,
yeah.
he's got a strong shot. It's got the power and the strength behind it, but he's also able to find the lane, get shots through as well, which is a big part for a defenseman. Is you want to get those shots through, not just ripping it off the opposition's
Yeah,
shins, which is
no,
massive.
ripping
Right?
it off the shin pads. Like he gets it through and it's powerful, right? Like you just like he gets a lot. Like he gets a lot of points. He gets goals. He gets assists. Like you said, like he gets those shots through and quick feet and like really really powerful shots. Sorry for cutting you off.
No
Got
worries.
excited, man. Like that. He's got a heck of a shot, big velocity. So
No, he's just he's got an overall kind of complete game. He's got that balance as you mentioned there with the
Yeah.
offense and the defense. Takes care of his own end first, which is massive as a defenseman because as we know the term is defenseman, so you got to play that defense, which he's able to do so effectively. And he's had
Yeah.
a strong season with the Sudbury team there, which is great. And I mean his teammate there, Nolan Newton there, he said he's probably had one of the best seasons, and I think he's probably shown to be he's got to be in that conversation as one of the best players in terms of the North, like the northern teams there. I mean, we talked last year. You had Alex Ferron and Cooper Foster, who came out of the top, were the top players out of the North last year. I think you could see Nolan Noon in that conversation this year as a top player out of the North. With the way he's been able to produce this year, is the way he's played. I mean, it's been a mix, and seen the results as he's tied as the leading scorer in the Great North Major League this year. But a big part of his game we talked about is his speed, the way he plays. I mean, we got Charlie Burns on later, and we were talking to him, Charlie Burns, at one point. He said, wow, I mean, he mentioned himself as a goaltender facing Sudbury. Nolan Noon's speed is just unreal, and it's tough to face. And it's the amount of, he says he gets tons of breakaways. And Nolan Noon, I mean, use that speed effectively to blow by guys wide, accelerate into space, create breakaways for yourself, create those offensive chances for yourself, as well as use that speed to create space and set up your teammates as well, which is huge, I think.
Speed kills, man. Nolan Newton is fast. He's like a lightning bolt. Like turn on the jets, whatever analogy you want to say. Gets up to speed quick. First couple strides are fast. Top speed is he blows guy like he'll go by some D like they're pylons. I'm not even exaggerating. He gets to the net alone a lot. Really, really fast. Like and the thing about him that's interesting is like he can blow by wide, but I like the just kind of how he plays in terms of he's not afraid to attack the middle too and try to dangle guys and use those puck skills and stick handling abilities to kind of I don't know like to go through the feet and then like kind of do a quick sharp cut around the D and then get to kind of those better scoring areas in the middle of the ice, right? Yeah, man. He's fast, like really, really good skater, good changes of direction, great edges. Just overall, his skating is super high end, right?
Yeah, I think he's got that qualities for him, and it's clear that other players, after talking to an opposition, are recognizing that, and it forces them to play differently, forces them to adjust their game plan, and forces them to be aware of when he's on the ice there for them. And he's been massive this year. He creates the chances. He's a threat whenever he's on the ice. He's got the skill. He's got the creativity as well to make plays on the ice. And it's been phenomenal for him this year. And he's a player that his teams relied on as well for when they need a big time player, big time goal. They stick him on the ice. I mean, he can play in those different situations. I mean, talking to a colleague in one game he attended this year, Sudbury got scored, and then right after that they stuck Noon on, and he was back in the play. He was creating chances, and then he got a goal as well. He produced right after that. So he's got that reliability. If you need something to happen, he's got that clutch gene, I think, as well, which is massive for any player. And I mean, you got the combination of these two guys, Nolan Noon and Tyson Rismond, together on the same team. And Rismond getting the puck up to Noon, it's a beautiful combination. And I think we were talking with them about at one point. I can't remember when we were talking about with them, but we were referencing the Whitby kind of 2-on-2 overtime that Quinny and Ajax were talking about, and we said, "Oh man, these two guys would probably have some fun 2-on-2 with the chemistry they have, and their games kind of mesh really well together with both, the way both of them play." And so it's phenomenal to have them both on, Ryan.
Yeah, no, that kind of came up just out of nowhere, but there's such a good blend of players together. They're so different. Just brings such different kind of skill sets to the table, and when we asked them, like, do you guys think you could hang with pretty much anybody 2v2 in a situation like that, there's no hesitation, right? They're like, yeah, for sure. But no, like obviously that's tough to say, like like whether they could or not, like we don't know unless it actually would have happened. But I think that they could hang and get some wins over I don't know, I wouldn't count them out against anybody, right? So yeah, so that was kind of fun to kind of ask them about that, and then I think they had a little fun with that as well. So that was cool to have them both on at once. Really kind of fun interview there. But yeah, let's jump into the next interview. We've got an interview with Charlie Burns, lighting it up north for the Sioux under 18 junior Greyhounds, killing it stats wise, highlight reel saves. We got a whole bunch of videos that were sent to us recently, and just because we weren't able to get up there a lot, we've been watching some stuff online about with the Sioux specifically, just to kind of get ready for the analysis on him. But let's let the interview roll first, and then we'll get into the analysis after. So here is the interview with Charlie Burns.
All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star goalie with the Sioux Junior Greyhounds U18 AAA program, Charlie Burns. Charlie, how's it going? Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm doing good. How are you guys today?
Awesome. We're excited to have one of the top goalies, not just in the Northern Ontario kind of Great North Midget League there, but also U16 hockey and just Ontario overall here. You've had an unreal season so far. I mean, it shows because the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League Sioux Thunderbirds have you AP'd. You've been able to get in some practices with them. Can you talk to us about kind of what that experience has been like, getting in some practices with them?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience getting to go out and practice with those older guys and getting to play at that faster pace of hockey. Cole and Jamie, they run a really great team, and they run good practices. So it's a pretty cool experience to get to practice with them.
Oh, for sure. And I know they've got a bunch of they've got a phenomenal roster there, and they've also got a couple former podcast guests on their team there with Cooper Foster and Lincoln Moore. And what's it been like, kind of, because Cooper Foster, OHL draft pick, is it kind of great to kind of face those kind of higher end shots, those next level shots there? Do you think that helps you as you look to progress there?
Yeah, I think it for sure helps me with those harder shots.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of on the same note of kind of you've been practicing with older guys. I mean, playing in the Great North Midget League there, what's unique about that is similar to kind of the HEO out east there, is you're playing against older guys who are kind of 1 to 2 years older than you, and you put together some outstanding performances in the crease there. I mean, what do you attribute all this success so far this season, especially against many players who are older there?
Well, thank you. I had a really good off season this year. I had a bunch of good practices. I also got to get out with a couple OHL guys and some pro guys this summer that have really helped me prepare for the season, for facing those older, harder shots. I also got to train with some high-end goalies, Mario Kalina, my stepbrother Gavin DeZano, and Garrett Wojnowski. We have a great facility at Elite Post to Post that we're fortunate enough to have here.
Nice. That's awesome. That's great to hear. Kind of getting that experience and kind of practice with those older guys. Like Eric
Yeah,
Kalina, former Brock University goaltender, I think too. It kind of sounds familiar to me being down here at Brock. And that's great to hear all that training's helped you. And I know Ryan will definitely agree. It's definitely shown in the crease this year, eh, Ryan?
Oh, definitely. I saw you at the Waterloo tournament. You're killing it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
unbelievable. And haven't been able to get up to as many like northern games as I'd like to. I got up to one, but it's tough on the travel schedule to get up there. But from everything we hear up north, you're killing it up there too. And I got some ideas of what makes you so good. But if you could describe your game as a goalie in 3 words, what would they be and why?
You know, I like to think I'm a pretty structured goalie, especially in the scrums. You know, try not to get too out of control. Try to just stay in control, find the puck. I also think that I'm pretty athletic. Make that those backdoor saves, those desperation saves if I need to, and I like to think that I'm pretty good with my feet as well.
Right. Yeah, no, you're good with your feet. Like you trust your feet. You stay up. Definitely like make yourself big in the net and that explosiveness, that side to side movement's great. Really, really athletic, really quick at reacting to the pucks and making second, third, fourth saves. Like you just kind of you seem to just be kind of like a cat out there, like making that Felix Potman reference, like really like kind of quick movements, which is awesome. And yeah, being a goalie, I mean, goalies tend to have different routines from other players. Kind of some goalies are a different breed, but for you, like what does your pregame routine look like? And do you have any superstitions?
Well, I try to be one of the first guys to the rink, especially when we're at home. You know, we can go a bit earlier. When we're on the road, it's kind of tougher to get into the rink early. But when we're at home, I try to be one of the first guys there. I'll throw on my warm up stuff, go tape my stick. I like to have a banana before the game. Then after that, I will go roll out, and then after that, I'll use my massage gun, hit the spots that the roller doesn't. And then after that, I will do some hand eye, get the eyes going. And then superstition I have is I put my left side on before my right.
Okay, cool. So the banana and like the massage roller and all that, is that to kind of make sure you avoid cramps during the game and like
Yeah,
nice and loose?
yeah. Yeah, I try and stay as loose as I can, get loose in warm-ups, you know, team warm-ups, try as loose as I can.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, eh, Connor? Like, I mean, I know like what do they say? Like bananas, like anytime you have a cramp, they say grab a banana. So like
Yeah.
to stay loose as a goalie, it sounds perfect to me.
No, it's a phenomenal routine there. And I remember back to something Kelly Rudy said on Hockey Night in Canada once was it's so important for those goaltenders. I mean, I beyond you guys are so flexible in the crease, it's beyond me. Like I
Yeah.
cannot stretch the way you guys do. So having that routine is a must. It's got to be a must for you guys, just so you don't like pull something, have something go wrong when you go to stretch across and do the splits or something, which is
Yeah, for
phenomenal.
sure.
So, but kind of similar on a similar note, kind of following along with the goalies. I mean, I remember when I was younger and you kind of rotate through goalies and stuff, and some people stick with it, some people don't. But what kind of drew you to becoming a goaltender? What inspired you to want to be a goalie there?
I'm gonna say the equipment. I really like the equipment. You know, I'd when I was younger, I'd watch the NHL games and I'd see like what the different equipment was that the goalies had and who had what and who didn't have what the other guy had. And yeah, so then that put in my head, you know, like I want to wear that stuff. Like I want to be a goalie.
Nice, I like that. So you're a big style guy, big guy. You like to have some style with the pads, the
Yeah, I
equipment
do
there.
like to have a bit of style. Yeah.
That's sick. I like that. And kind of similar as you mentioned, kind of the NHL guys looking at what they wore. Are there any goalies in the NHL you model your game after there?
No, I don't model myself after any specific goalie. But my favorite goalie is Carter Hart.
Nice.
Nice.
I love that. I love that answer there. How you kind of unique. It's you're being your own goalie and kind of not
Yeah,
looking to model. But Carter Hart, phenomenal goaltender there. I remember his World Junior performances. He's been phenomenal
yeah,
for Flyers. That's a great pick there, and I know Ryan would agree with me there. So I think he'd remember his gold winning performance at the World Juniors there, eh, Ryan?
Yeah, no, for sure. Unbelievable goalie. So yeah, he's one of my favorites as well. Not the biggest Flyers fan, not gonna lie, but no, like that's cool. I like that. Trying to be less of a fan and just kind of like actually, you know what, to be honest, as time goes on, like I've been a Leaf fan my whole life, but now I'm a fan of the league, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I used to hate the Flyers, but not anymore. It's all good.
The Leafs' first round playoff performances are driving us away a bit. It's a bit painful.
I know. I think I'm like, yeah, I think I'm ready to just be kind of a league fan. But if the Leafs win the cup, I'll be happy. But anyways, so like switching gears here, when you aren't at the rink or playing hockey, what are some things you like to do in your spare time?
I like to get out fishing. I like fishing. I've been doing it forever since I've been little, whether that's with my uncles or friends, family members. Like golfing in the summer. Me and a bunch of buddies, we like to go golfing. Up north here, we get a lot of snow, so I like to go out on my snow machine whenever I'm not at the rink.
Yeah, that's cool. I lived up north for a few years in a place called Fort Francis, which is
I've heard of that. Yeah.
yeah. So it's actually further than you. It's like between you guys and Winnipeg and up
Yeah.
northwest. But that's all the guys used to do out there, the snow machines and like
Yeah.
hockey, obviously, like all kinds of stuff. Golf is a big thing, but fishing, I used to do a lot of fishing on Lake of the Woods. So I know in your area and like up north, anywhere around there, it's like great fishing. So it's
Yeah,
a
for
great way to
sure.
relax and kind of get your mind off the game and just chill out, right?
Yeah.
Hang out with your buddies.
What's your golf game look like? How's
Yeah.
your golf game look? Is it average? How would you describe your golf
Average.
game?
Sometimes I'm better than others.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there someone on the team? You ever play with the guys on the team, or who would you say has kind of got the crown from the boys there? Who you play with?
I haven't played with many guys on the team, but I've heard Adrian Odell's a pretty good golfer.
Ooh, dang. Watch out for him on the links there, Ryan. Holy geez.
I like to get out as much as possible. Like, no, when I was younger, I got out a lot more than I do now. But I've been meaning to get out every summer. I say I'm going to get out more, but I get out a few times a year, 5 to 10 times a year. So it's a good thing to do. And then just kind of a fun one here. What would you say is your biggest fear or phobia?
Is that like in hockey or just in general?
In general.
Just in general, man. Like, what kind of gets you? Like, what irks you? What makes you afraid? Or
I don't like
something-
snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big snake guy at all.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Up where you live, there's must be like some pretty
Yeah, there's a
wild ones,
lot of
eh?
garden snakes. Yeah.
Oh,
All
Yeah.
the time. See a bunch in the summertime.
oh
Yeah.
gosh. I'm in the same boat with you on snakes. I remember
Yeah.
I work at a camp and they had like the reptile zoo show up with the bring the animals and they pull out the snake and they come by you. You want to pet the snake? I'm like, nope.
No,
Keep that thing
no.
over there. I'm not touching that thing.
No, I
Oh.
know. I
That's
don't want to get anywhere near them.
oh
No.
gosh. That's snakes are unreal. Oh my god. But anyways, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
No, it's all good. No, thanks a lot, Charlie, for coming on the pod. Like, it was great getting to know you and chat about your game a bit and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
yeah, no, you're very welcome. So just I mean, yeah, very best of luck with the rest of this season. You got lots of hockey left, and best of luck at the OHL draft.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
And we're back from our interview with goaltender Charlie Burns from the Sioux Junior Greyhounds U18 team. And Charlie Burns, I mean, you mentioned it before we played the interview, Ryan. He's had a phenomenal year. The stats are showing it, and the views support it. The eye test supports it. The analytics support it. He's had a phenomenal season. He's got the size as a goaltender you love to see. He's got the athleticism. I mean, just an athletic overall goaltender. I mean, you mentioned the highlight reel saves, videos that we were able to see, and just his ability to come up clutch, to make big saves, and his athleticism, his calmness, and his poise in the crease. He's just phenomenal. It contributes to the way he's able to kind of be a crease and be a sturdy presence back there and instill confidence for the team in front of him, Ryan.
Oh, definitely, man. Like, he's unbelievable. He's Sitting right now with like a 1.53 goals against average on the Sioux Junior Greyhounds. Like the other goalie, like there's a big gap there. It's like he's a U18 goalie at 2.86. And then even in this league, he's got like over half a goal lead in the goals against. He's like absolutely killing it. I don't know how many people are seeing him play games, but like for OHL teams, like they're gonna have to like, I mean, get up there to see him play. They're gonna have to get on My Hockey TV and Instat and check out his stuff because he's like absolutely lighting it up. The coach sent us a bunch of like highlights, different various saves, and unbelievably athletic saves. Like he's really explosive side to side, really, really good movements. So you could tell he's got a lot of power, a lot of strength, really, really good body control too, right? Like able to kind of like not lose himself in his crease, and really good technically. Like you notice how he gets out to makes himself, he's already got good size, but he makes himself big in the net. We talk about that a lot with goalies, about it. What makes a good goalie, like that technical ability, that ability to be in the right spot and then make yourself big, trust your feet, stay up, right? He does all that stuff. Like I know we kind of say that about a lot of the goalies that we talk about on this pod, but that's why we pick them to be on the pod, is because they have those characteristics. And those are really important for goalies. Like, I mean, the athleticism, the quickness, cat-like reflexes. I think I referenced Felix Potman during the interview, because that's what he reminds me of. He's just so fast, and it's unbelievable watching him play. Just I don't know. Like when I saw him in Waterloo live, I was blown away. He was had an unbelievable game. He's just absolutely getting peppered in the game. They were playing one of the top teams in Ontario. I can't remember which one. It was one of the beast teams, but yeah, he was getting peppered and just save after save after save, second saves, third saves. Another thing I noticed is like his rebound control. Like he'll get really, really tough pucks come in on him, and like a lot of times what he does is he angles his pad and it hits his pad, and then it'll like legit like die in the corner. And I think that's a huge skill for a goalie to be able to control the puck like that. Like, so then, like, let's say it's a 2-on-1 comes in, like guy takes a shot, goes off the side of the pad. And he did it so many times, you got to think maybe he's doing it on purpose, but dives in the corner. So that gives time, everyone else time to get back. And then it's like 5v5 again, pucks in the corner, whatever. And then his team's got to do their job and get the puck out, right? So a lot of good things noticed with Charlie for sure.
No, absolutely, and you hit the nail on the head with all those points. So I don't want to be repetitive or anything, because the athleticism, the poise in the crease. I mean, he talked about it. He's a calm goaltender. He likes to, when things get crazy, he stays calm. He takes everything he's learned, and he kind of remains calm and uses his vision to see the puck and make the saves that he needs to make. So you hit the nail on the head. So I won't repeat that. I just want to say as well, as we wrap up here, for Charlie, just phenomenal getting to talk to him as well, getting to know him as a person off the ice as well. Great outgoing spirit. Great kid. I think if you for a team, you'll get a great goaltender, but also a great person as well on your team. Great teammate. He's just fun to talk to as well. I mean, you can talk to him about anything.
Fun interview.
It was awesome getting to talk to him on camera and off afterwards as well, before and after. So much fun getting to know him, and honestly just can't thank him enough for coming on the pod, because I really look forward to hopefully seeing him. Hopefully he'll be on the NOHA team at the OHL Cup there. It'd be fun to see him there. Hopefully get to meet him sometime, because honestly it was great to talk to him, learn about him as a player, as a goaltender, and kind of getting to know him off the ice as well. And it was great. And I think whichever team gets him is getting a great goalie and a great teammate as well. And I've heard various discussions of top 5 goalie. He's got to be a top 5 goalie. So I think you can stick him in that discussion, I think.
Yeah, so if he, like, chances are if he's not at the OHL Cup, it's because he's at the OHF. So like, people got to keep that in mind, right? Like, and not just for like, it just depends whatever team ends up getting that top spot in the OHFs. Like, we'll mention that before the OHL Cup when we do the preview, because we'll know by then which team made it, to make sure that like we mention that again, because we don't want people to overlook them just because they weren't at the OHL Cup due to scheduling, right?
Absolutely. So Once again, just thank you so much to Charlie for taking the time to come on the pod. Really had a great time talking to him. And also just a massive thanks as well to Nolan Newton and Tyson
Yeah.
Rismond as well. It was awesome going to talk to all
Right.
three of these players.
Yeah.
Phenomenal people, phenomenal players as well, both on and off the ice. So just a great time getting to talk to them. Can't thank them enough. And yeah, so as we wrap up here, Ryan, definitely for all our viewers, all our listeners, definitely be sure to go follow us on our social media pages, Twitter and Instagram at the U16 Pod. You can follow myself on Twitter and Instagram at cwilliams_384. You can follow Ryan on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan P. MacArthur. Definitely, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below there. And if you're listening on whatever podcast platform you listen on, definitely be sure to hit that download and like button on there as well. We love seeing those downloads and likes and giving those likes and subscribes. So yeah, so and if you want to send us any inquiries, messages, be sure to send us. Also, if you want to send a highlight or a video, I do recommend emailing that. It's easier to formatting is easier for us as we could save it or whatnot. But definitely email if you're looking at any messages, videos, emails. Send those to the send those to the U16pod at gmail.com as well. So definitely be sure to send stuff to the email to that email as well. We check.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's been a lot of emails sent to my Ryan P. MacArthur at gmail.com. And then I also found out that there's a lot of people sending them to just Ryan MacArthur at gmail.com. So if you're sending anything to me, make sure you put the P in the middle. But for us, for the pod, it's so much easier if it's just sent to the U16pod at gmail.com. And or messages on our social media too, right, Connor? Like we don't mind getting messages on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, wherever, right?
Yep, absolutely. So just once again, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the U16 Pod. Hit that like, subscribe button, download and like button. And thanks so much for listening to this episode of the U16 Pod. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, take care, everybody.